The grand final, ladies and gentlemen. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the first map, and yes, indeed, this is a best of 5 series now. Washed up against the Vikings. Alright, so we're heading straight into the first one, and actually this should and could be a very exciting one, because the Vikings went into a complete 5-map series against Lauber's fan club in the semi-final of the first Masters Clash qualifier, and that was a pretty incredible series. So the Vikings definitely have what it takes to win here. Always a question of how you feel on any given day. This is also, as I stated previously in all of the other matches, on the current patch, so that's kind of important as well, since we have big adjustments. Deathwing made it through the draft once or twice, or at least made it into the second ban phase, which is already a success for him, I suppose, since there were a couple of nerfs. And we also had Jimmy making it in as a first pick several times now for Washed Up, because Blizzard heavily buffed his level 1. There were other adjustments as well. But now in Tomb of the Spider Queen, Hammer gets banned out, so they are afraid of the auto-attacker, but in this case, not actually of Jimmy. It's mostly Sergeant Hammer of Hazops, and we're saying like, yeah, not really. Now, with Mark on the other side, there you could ban even Mephisto here, Trace. There's a couple of heroes where Mark just is amazing at. And in this case, they ban out Vala, so no Vana shenanigans for the time being. But what's this ban? Yeah, Deathwing made it through now. So Deathwing, another option in the early stages. Instead, we saw the ban on Chromie, but as I already said, Nick on Reyna. This is like the 3rd or the 4th time even that they picked him first. There's the Oriel and Johanna setup. Burger is, by the way, backcooled. That I mentioned it previously, like multiple times in other videos, but I think a couple of people are still confused by that. It's more or less a taunt on Lauber, since Lauber, before he joined HGC and became back then a full-time pro, before Blizzard kneecapped the esports scene in Heroes of the Storm, Lauber was a burger flipper at McDonald's, and so it's a bit of a burger meme with him, so there's a little banter between the teams and the players here. Obviously, all those guys at the top level know each other and have met each other multiple times, so they're good friends. Banana H now, playing Ana again. We have Masquerade and Tyrael, which, as I stated, has also received a few changes. Storm Talent in particular, but also his trait, when procced on heroes, gives now 10-second reduction on the death timer, which can be kind of nice, depending on the situation. It's a little bit of a plus. I mean, again, it's a small buff. It's not all of a sudden making the hero insane or anything, but it's there. Leo gets banned. Now, we've seen multiple Deathwing bans now in the second ban phase, but is Deathwing really going to be banned out here? Yeah, he is. I was about to say, I kind of doubt it, but nope. Deathwing still a big candidate for a ban, despite being nerfed now. How many times? 2, 3? So I'm kind of losing track of that. There's of course other heroes that have now slightly been nerfed as well. But, well, let's see what we're gonna have on the red team side. Suljin! Alright! It's troll time. Oriel Suljin. It's getting spicy. That I did not see coming. We had a couple of meme games with Suljin before, but in a series like this, having Suljin taken, that is an interesting touch. And Gul'dan plus Blaze get picked on the other side, so the layer defenses with Sanctification and Bunker are available to Washed Up in this first game of the best of 5, the grand final. But this is gonna be hype. What is Gia gonna get? Bit more damage? I mean, oftentimes I would have expected Junkrat to make an appearance in this draft a little bit earlier already. The interrupt on the turn-ins alone are already great, but yep, well, what is Gia gonna get? It is Junkrat. There we go. Game number 1, the stage is set, let's jump in. It is Tomb of the Spider Queen, ladies and gentlemen, in this best of 5 grand final of the Masters Clash qualifier number 2 between Washed Up and the Vikings. Game number 1, ladies. Off we go. Washed Up against the Vikings. And on the left side, Hazops on Gul'dan, Masquerade on Tyrael, Dequaz on Blaze, Nick on Reyna once again, and Banana on Ana. And towards the right, the Vikings, in red with Mako and Suljin, Skog on Rexa, Burger, aka Backhold on Johanna, Galnagulna on Oriel, and Gia on Junkrat. Once again, a little bit of housekeeping. Question keeps popping up. So guys, the reason why currently there is no spoiler protection on the YouTube videos any longer is that I actually tied the spoiler protection to a Patreon milestone. The spoiler protection with the algorithm on YouTube pretty much absolutely wrecked the ad revenue on the channel and dropped it by more than 50%, and since Daddy still has to pay the bills, there needs to be something on the other side. So therefore it's now part of a Patreon milestone. If you want to support my work in the videos on Patreon and help to bring the spoiler protection back, by all means, you're welcome to check that out. There is a link in the description, and also, of course, patreon.com/Khaldor if you want to head there directly. Always appreciated, but not needed. But if you want to support my work, that's probably the best way to do so. As we're heading into the game, has now the chance to also start the stacks on Suljin. Obviously, the hero is heavily based around his auto-attack viability. If you get 15 stacks together on your baseline, that means you get a ranged increase, which makes it a bit easier to get even more. If you go for Headhunter as your level 1 choice, then you have a chance to pull that off there too. But in this case, it is recklessness. You're not always able to get those 5 kills in, and especially when Ana is on the other side, it's sometimes really tricky to get the killing against her. So they're currently not making any of these plays. Or adjusting the talents accordingly. Talking about talents and adjustments, there's again the level 1 for Reyna, as usual. Nice block, actually, against Rexa, and that's a quick kill against him. The problem is that the whip into the wall also sealed the deal on Tyrael. Gets a bit of an explosion. You could actually tell that he wasn't aiming for the heroes initially, and then at some point he was like, oh shit, wait, now I get reduction on the death timer if I explode on a hero and he tried to grab someone. But instead we get the damage against the wall. That's obviously worth it as well. And yeah, I'm obviously also speculating here only because I don't really think that in this case 10% reduction wouldn't have done anything. Death timers are so incredibly low right now. But it will take players a little bit of time to adjust, and always there's the question, is it easier or better for you to explode into the minion wave? I guess most of the times the reasoning will be yes, unless we are like in a very late game when that 10% reduction is really going to do a whole lot for you. Unless, of course, you're able to connect with multiple heroes, then it's a different story. Now that we are on level 4, we have a bit more whip action going for Oriel, heading into repeated offense here. Suljin, at the same time now, though, has already gone into the Amani hide. We have him with 3 stacks on his baseline, so he wants to get all of that auto-attack pressure. And if he ever reaches a late game where he can rely on a lot of those attacks, and a lot of stacks on the level 1, then that's going to make it really difficult for the frontliners. But Suljin is always a bit of a... I mean, he's a little bit of a gamble, and not really a safe pick, necessarily. But if they can lock some targets down, slow them, allow Suljin the auto attacks, that would be great. And Ana dies! If he would have known that he gets the kill against Ana that quickly in the game, I'm pretty sure we would have seen the Headhunter on level 1 after all. But either way, with 4 stacks now, they're starting to push through the middle. They have the camp. Washed Up doesn't. And the Vikings are trying to make the play here. Whereas Washed Up is now with 16 stacks on Gul'dan in a position where they at least have some serious wave clear against all of this. But still, they're losing tower number 1 and they're about to lose the second one as well. So, as I said before, the Vikings, they are a team that can take Washed Up down. They have proven it in the past, and they are currently in pretty decent shape, as they've proven in the last qualifier, which was just simply a week ago. Washed Up, of course, wants to qualify in this tournament right now. The winning team qualifies for the main event. That's one of the reasons why the fan club actually isn't playing in this one, because they already won the first one. But these two teams are big candidates to qualify for the main event of the Masters Clash. But everybody wants to make that qualification happen as soon as they possibly can. Gul'dan is down, and these whips are actually connecting. Galne Gulnar is really opening up some possibilities for them to get additional kills in. Nick is now isolated too, and there's so many slows and stuns that he has a tough time getting away. He's dropped as well. That's 4 kills against 1. Level 7 talent is already there for the Vikings, and they are crushing. Arcanite axes come through, and we are looking at a potential turn-in. They can complete that turn-in if they want, and they also denied at least a few gems to the opponent's team, which is always important there too. Keep your opponent low, try to get the turn-in for yourself, and then snowball it from there. Gia is of course also in a position where he can still interrupt. He also has the wave clear to the top. Red Web Weavers will come down. And at the bottom of the map, we're already going for the attack as is. So, let's go. Bit of a move towards the top. Trying to get the setup right there. But let's have a quick look at that. At this point, yep, there's a wave clear in, and it's Web Weaver time. Let's see how much I can get with this. Oriel is dead. That's a problem. Oriel down at that bad of a moment, that's a huge deal. But if they can kill their Quasar, that would be a nice comeback. But as it turns out, it's not happening. The support gone as you're trying to push, that's always a nightmare. And as that happens, there's going to be very little that they are going to be able to do with this. If they open up the walls alone, that's already a win, given the situation that they're in right now. And at the bottom of the map, Quasar is still the only one for the defense. Jimmy has rotated top side to help out there. The mid lane has already been defended, and the split is happening as everybody else is rotating around. Tyrael is jumping in. They're taking the Web Weaver down. Fountain is not going to fall, but maybe a kill here. No. Auriel is back to business. And Marke is getting some damage in. Yeah, of course, Gul'dan is firing back with the Echoed Corruption, but in this case, they won't be able to get another kill. So all the walls have been opened up. Towers are down. Top lane, that's also more or less true. A little bit of hit points are still remaining here, but still, first Web Weaver wave has at least done some damage, even though they couldn't take the fort down, which would have been the dream here. But they couldn't quite make that happen. So everybody is already starting to jump in right away. Move towards the top. Masquerade, yes, interrupt attempt. Successfully interrupted. And 10 stacks now for Suljin, meaning another 5 stacks, and he has a range increase. So that's big for him. Level 10 abilities are ready for both. That gives us the non-meme talent for Suljin, aka Tazdingo. Yeah, Auriel with the Resurrect. That's of course a nice tool to have. If you want to have your main damage dealer come back to life here, they can always trade him here. You trade him here even once. But look at Gul'dan. He's actually done. 6 minutes and 50 seconds in. He has the Echoed Corruption. And that is a mad amount of damage that you can now push out. Yes, the Horrify in the kill, but the insta-resurrect from Auriel. So Jojo is back to business. Still enough gems for the blue team to get a turn in. That has to be respected here. Masquerade, yep. He's trying. He's actually rotating towards the top side to get that turn in now. Nobody is interrupting him here. He has 18. That's not enough to get a turn in. But the blue team is actually in a spot where they have plenty gems, as the red team is still trying to see if they can maybe soak enough so that they get a second turn in a row. Chances of that happening are rather small, though. There's 7 missing for washed up. That's definitely manageable. That's a nice setup. Slows everywhere. Macke. Oh, the balls on that troll. Not using Tazdingo as he was about to die. And instead just saying, no, I still got it. And now he's just shelling away. He's shelling the shit out of them with these auto attacks. He's sitting at 13. Keep in mind, range increase at 15. Is there a heal? Nope, there's not. And Johanna is dead again. And the blue Web Weavers will descend too. Yeah, washed up. They have taken a bit of a hit in the early game, but now they are starting to come back with full force. Having the Siege Giants pushing together with the team is allowing them to pretty much drop that fort before the Web Weavers are even there. This is a dream. This is an absolute dream come true. Look at this bot lane. It gets absolutely demolished. They go through the bot lane like it's nothing. Yeah, there's the Horrify though, and oh my god, Hazu dies. Gems are recovered. At least a few of them. If Nick falls, if Misha has another star... Oh my god. They're losing another 15, aren't they? Yeah, well, Reyna is dead as well, but the gems get recovered. They didn't zone those out. They didn't want to lose time because they're going for the defense now. So just as I think that washed up is all of a sudden the team gaining momentum and making the plays here, the Vikings come back and are saying, not on our watch, and drop 2 heroes. 6 kills against 4 now. Both teams looking towards level 13 talents, but the fort at the bot lane has of course still been destroyed, so it's still a bit of a win for the blue team. But this could have gone so much better for them. And they lost some gems, and both teams are very, very close to having another turn-in possible for them. A few gems were lost from washed up, but not enough to deny him the second turn-in opportunity. Okay. So there we go. Bit of an attempt down at the bottom. Quasar has 24 gems. It would be a huge step forward. Also, with the auto attack style, we have Ensnare now. Another CC tool on the side of the Vikings. Nearly the 15 stacks also for Suljin. And again, that range increase is important, as you can see here. Range increase by 1.1. It's pretty significant. And he has it. Marke has it now, so that makes his life a lot easier. And they're starting to make the plays now. 13 talents on both sides, of course. And 44. Ah, blue team gets it. They had 44 and they were missing 11, and Tyrael turned in top side. Nobody guarded that. Junkrat was busy pushing out the top lane. Sanctification, guys, what a Horrify again. Insta-kill against Johanna. Fantastic kill right there. Oriel has a resurrect, but she can't get close enough. She can't get close enough and make the play, and therefore they might lose even more. Because, oh, Nick gets murdered by the troll. Absolutely slaughtered, but Rexa is dead too. He gets resurrected, actually. And she should be in a decent spot to come back from this. But gems are lost to the red team now. So they're actually starting to lose some ground here on the gem count. And they're also losing structures. They have lost the bot fort, now they're losing the fort in the middle. And the one at the top gets attacked too. It's a weird game. Back and forth the entire time. But for the time being, a bit more momentum for the blue team. Structural position is looking decent. And it's still 4 versus 5. I mean, Jimmy is coming back. Once that he is. So then look at damage output. Something that we should definitely highlight a little bit. 44,000 for Gul'dan. Look at the troll. 31k. Still a bit behind the auto attack on the blue team side. Jimmy is sitting at 34,000. But the fort is held for now. Bot lane has taken some damage. It's not too bad yet, but the towers have nearly dropped to 50 HP both. Experience, very, very even. Slightly, tiny lead for the Vikings. Nothing really noticeable. They are fighting for every kill. I love this. Good setup for... Like, it's a really good setup for the first map of this best of 5 series. Already promises a lot. I mean, even if it's like a 3-0 or so, if the quality of the games that you get is awesome, then it's a great series there. Bot lane, Siege Giants are being taken by Nick, so he claims them easily. Top side, a bit of a poke around the boss. Both teams just like peeking, checking if they can maybe make a play there, or if the opponent is trying to snag something up, which isn't the case. But yeah, they're trapping it. Yeah, in this case, they're actually going for it too. Masquerade moves in. They see Junkrat at the bottom of the map, and guys, they're gonna snag that up. 16 is ready for the opponent's team first, but they are realizing too late what's going on here. They're going to turn in instead, but that would be a great trade. Yeah, backward is there. He tries, and he can't. He lets it slide. And they don't turn in. They're 1 gem short from turning in. 16 versus 16, there it is. And immediately the attack. And there's the Horrify again, and they obviously start to go for the front line. Nano Boost was ready as well. No turn in yet. The boss takes down the top fort for sure. Misha is down, but it's the only thing that they can kill. And Gia, if he moves down and turns in, they get the Web Weaver wave. But Washed Up actually snuck the boss. They just stole it pretty much. They were behind in the talent even at the end of it. So if there was a fight, it would have been a total disaster. But now they're in a spot where they might even be able to turn a few more gems in first. They're not close enough to really get a turn in. But the boss took the fort down. The boss destroyed the wall a little bit. So that's a nice start for them. Securing the gems that they hold is also a nice step. If they can, of course, win a fight now, that would be fantastic, and maybe deny a few gems to the opponent's team. But the chances of them denying the entire turn-in are slim to none. It's a single gem that's missing. It's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so the attack is in. 6 against 7 kills still. 19 stacks now for Suljin. Damage output at this point, 34,000 for him. Yeah, fight is coming in, and there's the Red Web Weaver wave. Now it's gonna come down. 112,000 siege damage already for Junkrat. Gul'dan is at nearly 100,000. 99k for him at this point. If 30 stacks are reached for Suljin on his level 1, that also means that his Arcanite Axe Spin gets a second spin for the stacks on the level 7 talent. And he has 38 stacks there, so it's not like it's too crazy. But of course there is always the concern that if the game is too long, lasts too long, that you are in a spot where Suljin is just going to murder you. So if it comes to one of these 25, 30 minute long games on Tomb, which we have definitely seen, also on this level, then Suljin is going to crush. But we're not there yet, not by any means. So now we just have 19 stacks and 39, and there's the 20. Yeah, they're trying to get some damage in here. Web Weavers have been defeated mostly. There's only the one at the bottom of the map, and everybody is rotating in now to deal with that too. The AoE is there, and all the wave clear. But the blue team has a tough time holding the fountain. Fountain falls, but at least they hold the thing itself. And Maka gets a couple of extra hits in against Equaza as the jet propulsion connected. So he's at 22 stacks now. He is getting there, slowly but steadily. Suljin is more so a hero that we see in brawls these days. I mean, he is the best brawl hero that you can possibly get. Incredibly strong. Especially, again, if it heads into the late game, but in a 5 versus 5 situation that lasts the entire game, you obviously get an amazing amount of stacks on your level 1 and also on the level 7, so these endless stacks usually reign supreme there. But the problem that you have in a normal game, especially on a higher level, is that the opponent isn't giving you that much brawl time, so it's difficult to get those auto attacks consistently connected. Especially when it's like a bigger map where macro style is being played. Here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, it's a little bit more about just simply trying to rotate between the lanes. And it's a more aggressive map, so you have more fights happening. But, yep. Soldier now with 22 and 42. Everybody else has pretty much already completed their stacking quest. Well, with the exception of Oriel, who is on level 4 just on 1 stack. There's the Willow of Heaven, by the way, so that additional attack speed for Zul'jin is going to make his life now even easier. And he is going to crush later on. Yeah, there's already the damage set up. Blue Web Weavers will be descending. A kill would be fantastic for them, of course, now as well. Honestly, Hazu Ops with those sexy horror fights over and over again is making the big plays for them. He's, of course, not the only one. The entire team is just setting this up. But that's going to be a kill against Zul'jin. Oriel can go for the Resurrect, and this is the absolute dream setup as the Web Weavers come down. You take 2 heroes down. On big death timers, you have level 20 that you grab thanks to it, and the Web Weavers just then come down. Execute, Burn Notice, and the Demonic Circle. They're going to murder keeps now. 2 heroes dead, they're going to absolutely crush. They still have Bunker. They still have Sanctification. They're going to totally destroy the Vikings at this point. This is a nightmare. It can't get any worse for the Vikings. I mean, they could lose a few more heroes, maybe. That would be worse, but outside of that, like, this is easily a game attempt now. They're already going for the core, and Web Weavers are pushing both the keeps, so even if they can somehow hold the core, the keeps are going to fall, and the core is getting absolutely destroyed here. 60% as the fight rages on. 50%, Zul'jin is back, but washed up. They go for victory in game number 1 of the best of 5 series, and they lock it in. GG and well played as washed up take the victory on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game number 2. Best of 5 series still, and we have washed up against the Vikings now. Washed up has taken the lead, and Battlefield of Eternity is our second map, so it's going to be a fun one, I assume. Because, I mean, the Vikings are actually doing a decent job on the last map, but Hazu Ops' Horrifies have destroyed them. I mean, oh boy, was he awesome on those. And these combos, when executed well, are just devastating, especially if you have like a stun into a guaranteed Horrify hit, for example. So now we have Li Ming banned out. Li Ming has been a consistent first pick for the Vikings for months now, seriously. I mean, Make loves to play the hero here, has huge success with it too, so this is a ban that makes perfect sense. Same ban pattern on the side of the Vikings with the ban against Hammer and the ban against Chromie. So all of that range poke damage is now gone. What are they going to ban out against Maka? I mean, they could even go into the Vala ban again that they already had previously. Different map, different reasons. This is more of an arrow build compared to a multi-shot build that we would have seen on the first map. But still, you can still get rid of that. But it's Deathwing instead. Yeah, Blizzard keeps nerfing Deathwing, and Europe still says, nope, not happening. There's the Jimmy pick. And again, this is actually now one of the cases where we can see Exterminator. We've seen Exterminator in one of the previous games played by Washed Up on Battlefield of Eternity. The talent previous to the buffs on level 1 in the recent patch was obviously hot garbage outside of Plastic League, and came at a way too high price for team fights, and teams pretty much never really picked it in Europe. I mean, at the beginning, some dabbled in it a little bit, but every team that tried it immediately after 1 or 2 games went back to Ace and Hole and said, like, no, it's just way better. We go for the team fights there. But now it's all of a sudden an alternative, so we'll see if Maka actually uses it or if he sticks with Ace and Hole here. Banana on Ana and Nick on Vala, so we have arrow build now for them. Plus Garrosh and Malfurion. Flip into Roots is what we're gonna see. With the bans coming in, there's the front line that can be banned out by the Vikings, so they can get rid of some of those frontline healers. Also, if they want to maybe get rid of one of the mages, they could do that too. Ana, of course, wants to banana boost something, and there are still a few mages that can easily be played here. I mean, yes, Liming is banned out, but you have Jaina and everything. Nice ban actually too, because Garrosh plus Zarya is great on this map, and the extra shield would help also Jimmy to get even more damage in. There's the ban on ETC, so they allow the mages to come through here. And let's see. I mean, Jaina, she has been... Her level 7 cooldown reduction has been nerfed again a little bit from 1.5 seconds to 1.25, but generally speaking, Jaina for the burst damage is still fantastic. Blizzard has also nerfed her level 16 talent a little bit, which doesn't... The Blizzard talent, which doesn't really mean anything for high-level play, because nobody here uses it anyways. But here comes Rexa and Johanna. Okay, so we get Misha again, and we have Jojo. Good against Garrosh too, because the shield allows you easily, the Iron Skin, to move, either to dodge out the flip completely or to move out of harm's way if you get flipped. So both is absolutely correct. And, well, last two picks now for the Vikings, heading into Battlefield of Eternity. Gia and Skog. What's the offlane? Thrall and Imperious. Okay. Thrall plus Imperious get taken. And now it's time for Hazu. Mage time. Chromie banned, Liming banned, Jaina up, Gul'dan up. Heavy frontline on the other side. Either way, it's going to be a lot of burst. If that frontline is locked down at some point, what's it going to be? Medivh! Nice! Alright, all eyes on Vala for the damage. Medivh comes in. Hazu on Medivh on Battlefield of Eternity. Always a treat. And let's see if it works out. Second map, Battlefield of Eternity in the best of 5 series as a Masters Clash Qualifier number 2, the grand final, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2. Time for Medivh, time for Hazorbs. On the left, Nick on Vala for Washed Up, Banana H on Ana, Masquerade on Johanna, with Dequaza on Rexa. And for the Vikings, on the right side of the map, as they are trying to go for the tie in the series, Galnagulna on Malfurion, Skok on Imperious, Gia on Thrall, Make on Jimmy, as expected with the Exterminator. That damage output is actually really insane, especially when you have your Inspire active. You can burn that Immortal down like there is no tomorrow. And backhold on Garrosh as we head straight into this. Also, Thrall is now part of the bot lane rotation, and therefore Crash Lightning is immediately getting picked. The opponent's team is of course splitting as much as they can to deny him the stacks. But this is one of those setups where you can go into Crash Lightning, because you have a triple frontline and your offlaner is not Thrall. Thrall can join the 4-man. Arrow build for Vala, as usual. Monster Hunter is fantastic against the Immortal. But you will definitely see that Make is having huge advantages now when it comes to the Immortal. The newly changed talents. Blizzard changing the Ace in the Hole, changing the Exterminator. And, well, there's already a little bit of portal play that we're seeing. So there's this serious damage right now. Make can definitely burn this down super quickly, and Vala, of course, on the other side will do the same thing, especially after she reaches level 7 and a completed level 4 quest talent. That's where all the damage is going to come from then. So with this, we're starting to go straight into our 4 versus 4 fight where the flips are happening. This is exactly the scenario I talked about earlier. Johanna gets flipped, has the Iron Skin up and walks away from it. One of the reasons why the hero is actually very solid here. And they're trying to buddy block out Make. And yes, they get the kill. Nicely done. Well played here. Ana actually the one who gets the final damage point in. So that was quite nice. 2 heroes at the top so that they can take the top camp. But of course, at the bottom of the map, we see something similar happening at the same time now. The blue team very well aware that 1 hero is dead and 2 are missing, and therefore potentially sitting topside to go for the bruiser camp. They're doing the same thing at the bottom of the map. That's usually what you see in even trade-in camps for the 2 teams. Rarely does a team walk away with both. First stack, by the way, for Thrall is actually kind of funny, because he got the first stack now that he's on the solo lane against Rexa. So Rexa has to split Misha and himself now far away so that Gia doesn't get the stacks here. But for Gia, this is a really shitty start into this game. Because if you play Crash Lightning as your level 1, you really want to get some stacks early on already. And he just got the second one, so maybe even a little bit of a misplay on the Rexa side. But just generally speaking, Yeah, it gets even a third one. Just generally speaking, you want to be farther ahead than this. So if they can keep Thrall low and really, really delay the completion of his quest talent, then that would be the dream for them. But we'll see how that's going to pan out in the long run. I mean, once the fights over the Immortal really starts, that's usually where Thrall can pick up some extra stacks. Currently sitting at 3s and maybe not something to write home about, but yeah, it's going to get there. Okay, so with this, we also are going to see a little bit more of what that new Exterminator can actually do. So, Make is already getting in position. The bird is still flying. That thing is just cheating, seriously. It's like a legal map hack on the map. Yeah, Make wants to go for it, but he can't. Yeah, but he can actually go for Misha, and he gets some serious damage in there too. So, yeah, Make comes in. Stun circles are already through. And here we go. Once the Spire is also active, look how quickly they're actually burning this down. I mean, it's not only Exterminator, of course, so at least keep that in mind, but it is some serious damage that you get with that, and whenever the Inspire is active, it's kinda nuts. So now that Vala isn't stacked yet with her own arrow, the damage output that we see from the Vikings side on the Immortal is just way superior. If Vala is stacked on level 4 and has also her level 7, then it might become a bit of a different story, but right now the output is just way, way, way better for the Vikings. They're already using exactly that. 4 stacks for the Frostwolf pack, and as you can tell, Thrall is actually starting to stack a lot faster now on his Q. He's sitting at 6 already, gets stunned out on the Immortal, but just look how quickly they burn this down. Vala is doing the same thing on the left side, and Nick could do so much more if he just had a few more stacks in level 7. But it's the red team that wins Immortal #1. So they burn this one down. 7 stacks now for Thrall on the Crash Lightning. And a completed level 4 talent, which allows him for synergy later on in the game with his Alpha Wolf. Make also now working on the minions over here. 3 stacks on Vala, so Nick really has to get additional stacks on Vala. And wants to burn down the Immortal, of course, as well. Once level 7 is in, the repeating arrow is going to help him a lot. But that's, of course, still a bit away. Immortal gets burned down quickly. Roots are up again, and Broccoli gives vision, and that's a kill. Nicely played. Broccoli gives the vision, they go in, get the stun, get the flip, and bam, Vala down. And all of a sudden there's nothing that can poke that Immortal down anymore, which means that they now get that fort after all. Nice. Yeah, so actually really well done here. That was actually one of the most important kills that they just got. If they don't get that Vala kill, then it's a completely different story. Then it becomes incredibly awkward. But now up to the top side, after we just had that kill, we have first of all Ancestral Wrath. Blessed Shield is first of all on only on level 10 available, so not ready yet. But with this they will maybe make some plays later here. Blessed Shield is going to be a nice tool for them with the stun coming in from Rexa, maybe a ley line, and then Vala coming in with the damage. I honestly think that Nick is going to try and go for Strafe again on level 10, as he usually does when he doesn't have to go for an additional interrupt against, let's say, ETC, for example. I mean, for the opponent's team, it's pretty much exactly what you would expect here so far. 1 kill against 1 kill, still a bit of a lockdown down here against Johanna. Bottom of the map, that's where they are currently looking to get even more camps. The problem really is that if you are sitting on Vala and you're getting camps right now, that means you're not getting any stacks for your level 4. And you can't really move out too far and try and do something here. But just look at that momentum that the Vikings are building up on the top lane. It's way too much to handle. Hazorbs with those portals. The problem with the portals is that... Oh, nice completion on the quest, by the way. So his baseline is really solid. But one of the problems that you definitely have is that, on the other hand, you see Malfurion with roots that can easily control the portal, and there's a lot of additional stuns available. They can pretty much lock down any hero that goes through the portal very, very quickly. So that's another huge advantage. There's the rotation of Masquerade, as he wants to go towards the top. Not so much. Yep, quick kill over here, or at least an attempt to get the wave down and save the fort before it loses even more hit points. Level 10 is so close now for the Vikings. Oh god, this is horrible for Washed Up. 11 stacks for Thrall also is really good now. Yeah, of course he could be even farther ahead, but this is really solid. There's level 10 and they even go for Hyperion. It allows them for incredible push power. That, on the other hand, is a problem. Nice save. That was a clutch save by Backhold. If Garrosh doesn't get that flip over on Imperius, then first of all, that gives a huge chunk of XP over to Washed Up, which allows them to get level 10 maybe. And also, it would put them in a 5 versus 4, and that would make things tricky. But, well, right now, no problemo. Everybody jumps in, and goodbye, Immortal. Make is just firing away. Inspire, baby, double damage, oh yeah, and that's another big Immortal, and in the meantime the top lane has also suffered, and is still suffering a lot of damage here. Skog is now moving into, they finally have level 10, Rek'Sai here, there's the Hyperion, perfectly set, and they are going to get not only kills, but also the fort out of this. The ley line, but Vala is already dead. Make, on the other hand, he's also down, so that's a kill for a kill, but the fort is down and the Immortal is now in play. They're trying to chase them with the portals as much as they can. But, yeah, there we go. Double connect! Iron Skin is in! If they can get another stun against Johanna, that would be great. Yeah, she gets even zoned out by the Immortal, as the Immortal goes for the stun. 10 stacks now for Vala. Kill against Misha, okay, so that's in. And they go through that wall. Now the Immortal is not going to do too much just yet. We're still before the 10-minute mark. Another stack for Vala, sitting at 11. Has gone into strafe, by the way, as expected earlier. But Nick is low, and Ana is doing a whole lot of work here to keep her topped up in HP. And trying to make sure that she doesn't die again. But yeah, wall has now fallen, and they have to defend this one. But they actually clutched their way back into this a bit. 2 kills against 2 kills. Washed Up isn't out of this just yet. It's kind of impressive, honestly. They were way farther behind. Now we have 14 stacks for Thrall. So that's another thing to point out here. 14 stacks on the level 1, which means, of course, it's going to still take him quite some time to get the completed. But I mean, it stacks even beforehand. It's not like you only get the damage output when you have the 20. The 20 makes it way much more impactful because you just prioritize heroes. And you have the damage output on top of it. He is already top damage for the team, though. So this poke is worth a lot. Especially since Reyna is mostly focusing on the Immortal when all of these fights happen. Okay. Well, bot lane, that's where the attack is now coming in again. Against, this is a cool rotation, actually. With the top lane camp just now taken, they're just simply saying, okay, we're going to get the fort at the bottom of the map. Problem is that the opponent is already going for keep, and they're a little bit late. And Hyperion is great for something like this. This is one of the reasons why I personally really love the talent. Banshees are, of course, great too when you go for Raiders. But still, Hyperion pushes like this one, they always do serious damage. And that keep is already incredibly low. Leyline is set though, so they try and force the fight here, but they don't have level 13 talents. But if they can get the quick kill, Gia is down. Strafe, but the problem is Imperius. He wants to go for the kill. Vala is also in trouble. Vala! And they're getting even more damage in. If Vala has another... Oh my god, if she has the wall, she might be able to get the kill against Garrosh. Imperius dies, but Garrosh walks away. Nice. Without level 13 talents. Now, Jimmy is still alive, though. So with Jimmy still in play, that is now a bit of a race. 16 stacks for Vala. She doesn't have the quest completion, but that is already a lot more damage output than they previously had for these Immortal races. And it is starting to show. Nick is just moving in and is getting one hit in after another on the arrows, which means the halftime show is won by them. The fight over here is not over yet, though, as the Immortals are starting to shift their position again. And off we go. Immortal shift is in. 13 against 13 talents now. And Jimmy on level 13 now also with the Rallying Cry. Increasing the duration of Inspire is pretty insane, because that means that you also have synergy with your level 1 talent now, which previously was, of course, in this way not the case. So now you have a way bigger damage output for way longer. Well, 1 second, which can give you another hit. Or maybe even 2, depending on if you're a bit boosted there. But, yep, let's go. Mishan at the bottom, over here. Medivh, granting vision, telling them what's going on. He's trying to go for the flip, doesn't get that, gets a stun in. Nick needs to be... I mean, Nick is seriously the one that has to watch out here. They have to watch out for Nick, and they do, but Nick needs to perform, and so far he does. You look at damage numbers, and Nick is setting at 23,000, together with Medivh, by the way. 25 for Thrall, but it's all about the Immortal damage. That's, of course, the advantage that Medivh has. He doesn't have to go for the Immortal. His damage there is not really that impactful. It's more so Nick that is really the one that has to put in the numbers when it comes to that. Oh, close call. That would have been bad. If he gets flipped and killed, then the fight is pretty much over. Talking about fight being over, top keep is down. Oh, blessed shield! Oh, and the condemn. Strafe is there and does a ton of damage, and they might kill Imperius with it, and they do. Imperius is down. Nick is already moving away. Core gets actually attacked by all of this. Top keep is down. Bottom fort has fallen. And this is pushing it even further in to try and attack the keep maybe. But there's catapults for the defense. Shields are nearly completely gone, but they will be defended. We're too early in the game for Winions to really be a thing. But this is an Immortal now in the hands of Washed Up. And Washed Up, of course, they know what's up here. They needed to make that play. They sent Rexa back to push that lane out a little bit more, but he's going to be up at the top of the Immortal once that it hits the lane. And they kind of need to make that play now. They're tapping the fountain with Vala. The wall down here hasn't even taken any damage. But right now, the minimum goal of this is the fort. Fort is a given. But in an ideal world, you want to take down the opponent's keep, not only to catch up in experience a little bit, but at the same time, it will alleviate the pressure that you're feeling topside all the time. So they need to get a lot out of this, and Rexa is actually wrapping around. Rexa is saying, guys, we need to get kills here. Oh my god, if they can get Marker, that would be the dream. Marker? Yeah, no chance. Marker down. Marker was the biggest threat to the Immortal, honestly, with his Exterminator on level 1. So they get the kill against Gia. Oh my god, what a dream setup. Washed Up, look at this. They were so far behind. And now all of a sudden they have the earlier level 16 talent, and this keep is gonna fall 100%. Keep is down. If this continues, they might go core. They have now, first of all, the Seething Hatred, the completed quest on her. They have Imposing Presence and Primal Intimidation, and the Immortal is still up, and they can actually start to nip at the core. Reyna is going to be back. Reyna is back, and he has the Hyperion, so he can use that immediately, and he does. But that core might lose a few hit points if they really want to stay on it. But I don't think they can finish here. No, they can't. Not with Jimmy back. But they played perfect here. The setup gets the keep at the top, and now we're dead even in structures. Dead even in structures, and very, very close when it comes to the damage output. 38,000 damage now from Vala, 30,000 for Medivh, 31k for Thrall. Thrall in the late game, still a huge threat. And of course these Immortal pushes are always going to be super dangerous, especially with the objective quickly claimed by either Vala or by Jimmy. And Jimmy has also now adjusted his level 16 talent. So in this case we get the give me more. Yeah, so you get even a little bit of range increase. So no pain them red here. Another hit at the bottom. They're trying to get a few more damage points in. They saw Jimmy topside. That's why they push at the bot lane a bit. And now that they know that he already Hearthstone back, they're moving away from it. And they can simply portal in on the camp, and that camp of course doesn't stand a chance. Not with Monster Hunter. And they have vision. Like, it's the one element of especially Medivh that in the late game is so incredibly frustrating. I mean, there's even more that's frustrating with him, but this is probably one of the biggest impacts that he has on the game, that you just have constant vision and you know what your opponent is doing. And as long as he sees what's happening here, they are just simply saying, hey, we're going to push this a little bit more. We're going to open up the wall on the keep, and if we get the next objective, it means we're going to easily dominate that and take the second keep down. And thanks to the portals, they can always move away. They have on 16 the stable portals, so the duration increase and the cooldown reduction is just great for them. This up at the top is also the perfect spawn position, so they can quickly take it down. No problem here. They haven't taken their own camp yet, but everybody is moving into the middle of the map to attack the Immortal again. And this race is interesting, because who's going to win this one? Yeah, Exterminator, or is it going to be Vala? It's close. I mean, with Johanna coming in and blinding Jimmy, that's a big tool to have against an auto attacker like this. But the red team wins the halftime show if they continue that pace. The ley line set up down here, that's a different story. They want to go for the kill, and the strafe is good. But is it good enough? No, it's not. Vala is down, and that is a big problem. And she's not the only one. Masquerade is going to fall too. Yeah, nice. The Vikings, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it. Fantastic series here. 2 heroes down. Now they can go for the Immortal, which means that the bot lane keep on Washed Up side is very likely going to fall. I mean, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill. Question is simply, can they go for core? 23, 37 seconds until the heroes are back. Bit more damage done over here on the right side, trying to reduce that shield as they can already. That's a few hit points less. Portal time, baby. Misha! Yeah, Misha gets away. But this is gonna hurt. I like this. This entire game, this match has been cool so far. Has been really nice. Very, very enjoyable. Top lane approach, is it game or are we only seeing this keep fall? That's the question. Let's see. Yeah, there we have it. Nick comes in and... yeah, he plays this a bit too aggressive. If he dies here, it's game. So he can't really be in that spot. At least not that aggressively. What is he doing? Nick comes in from behind for a strafe, apparently, I think. Yeah, gets locked down and gets the portal. Okay, that's good. That's good. Can they get the kill against Gia? They're forcing it. Honestly, they're getting the kill against Thrall. Thrall is down, and now they're looking for more. They look for the kill against Backhult, and they're going to get it too. They actually defend this. The Vala flank, ladies and gentlemen. The keep is obviously down, but that was never in question. It was always clear that the keep would fall. That was never an option to save that. But as long as they save the core, they keep themselves in game. And that's all that they need to do. So yes, they are able to make it happen. They're even looking for an additional kill now. Portals are being used, and there's the slows. The slows, they immediately jump through. They suffer a few hit points on the core. They might actually suffer a lot more than they thought here. But they're looking for the kill and they get Imperious. 73% on the core, 79% on the other. And they are starting to pressure. 2 heroes are down. They want the second keep. And they should be able to get it. Level 20 talents are now ready. What a series. Vala is actually going for the camp here. Easy grab, of course. But up to the top, nah, they don't even go for the keep. They let it slide for now. What a game. What a game! Level 20 on both sides. 9 kills against 5. Ooh. So, they took the damage on the core. And in exchange, they got the kill against Imperious. Which is what allows them to be this aggressive on the map and take both camps. And also, of course, defend everything that's happening here. 24 stacks on Thrall's level 1. On the damage, he should be fine. 43,000, but it would, of course, be way better if he would have completed the quest already. 3 heroes that haven't died yet. Ana Medivh, and interestingly enough, Garrosh. Oh, Malfurion too. So, yep. Another camp is taken. It's all about the last objective, ladies. Last objective in the game. Level 20 talents are in for both teams, which in this case also gave us the brand of Solarion. And over to the right side. Yep, there's the vision. Masquerade, careful. We have to be very, very careful with this. God, this is gonna be nuts. This is gonna be insane. Medivh. Here's Medivh cheats now. Death Siphonus here too. Yeah, already. 2 being hit. Only 2. Can they get more? Where is Vala when you need her? Where is that strafe? There's the strafe! And Backhult nearly down! But the interrupt, nicely done by Imperious, but he's going to die, isn't he? Oh my god! The triple kill washed up! What the fuck? They get the triple kill, they get the quad kill, that's game! That's game right there. You don't even need that Immortal anymore. Nope. They pretty much wiped the opponent's team and are able to go for the core directly. Gia is the only one that is still there. He's a survivor, but that doesn't help them at all. He's getting zoned out by Johanna, and now with Nick just firing away here, and Ana keeping alive, Medivh of course as well. That core is going to fall one way or another. Arrow after arrow connects here, and this is it. Thrall down, 5-man wipe, and a 2-0 lead for Washed Up in the grand final of this series. GG, and well played. Game number 3, the grand final, the best of 5, ladies. We are heading straight into our third map, Alterac Pass, and In theory, this could be the last one. I expected at least 4, if not 5 maps out of this series, but we had in the past a couple of games already where maps were incredibly close, but one team was always able to just edge out the last victory in the team fight and then finish it, and that happened with Washed Up now twice. They did a great job on the first 2 maps, and now on All Direct Pass they're obviously going to attempt to seal the deal and secure themselves a qualification for the Master Clash, for the main event. Can they pull it off? They ban out Liming against Marke. And there are a couple of different things here on this. They just hate Hammer. They're just looking at Hase like the Germans don't get the Panzer. Not happening. No tanks for the Germans. Yeah, so with All Direct Pass now, there is of course a big map again in play, which could lead to Dehaka, to Falstead. I think Deathwing is most likely going to be banned out again. ETC with Stage Dive is going to be solid here too. So there's definitely a lot of options to play the macro game. Abathar also, in theory, could play a role here again. So it will be an interesting one, especially given the circumstances. With the 2-0 lead for Washed Up, the Vikings, they know that they have to start a reverse sweep at this point, or it's going to be dicey. So Vala gets banned, so does Li Ming, so 2 of the damage dealers are already gone. There's a Deathwing ban. And that leaves, I mean, it leaves quite a lot of picks open, but an insta lockdown on Reyna. But it's kind of interesting. Reyna has been picked first every single game in this series now. And has also been first pick in a lot of the other matches that we've seen in the tournament. But hasn't been banned yet. So he hasn't really risen to the level where he gets banned out. Now, we have Oriel already claimed. And Johanna again. So that's already a nice frontline here. Question is always, what do you pair that Oriel with? Now, Oriel is, of course, after she, I mean, when did she get changed? Like a couple of patches ago, but she's a lot more like self-sustainable in the way that she generates hope and is now has to more actively also participate in the battles. So it's not like you need the best battery in the game, like battery or bust. You want to have a solid damage dealer, of course. Greymane could even be that. That could even be Greymane. But Oriel now has a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to that. Back in the days, there were only like 3-4 heroes you could combo off with her in order to get some decent value from her. Banana on Ana again, and Masquerade on Tyrael in this case. So already a nice lineup here for them when it comes to especially boosting the auto attack from Reyna with the Swift Retribution as a level 1 talent. There's shields galore, of course, if they play this right again. And they still have the option of also jumping into an Abathar setup, which they've played... When was that actually? One of the previous games. Chen gets banned, Leo also out. And now it's time for the double pick. And we're gonna find out what the battery is for them. What are they getting here? Suljin again, okay. They believe in their chances. Suljin is in. Rexa is also getting played. But the Suljin pick for the second time, not in a row, but in the series, is interesting. It didn't work out on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but they're gonna try it again here. Okay. Troll time. Last 2 picks. Blaze, the good old Tyrael and Blaze setup. And Chromie, not banned, finally taken. Okay, it's Chromie time. And the last pick. It's a nasty setup for Washed Up, seriously. I still don't know if I really believe in the troll or not. At least for games like this one. It's always a little bit like, yeah, it did not work out in game number 1. It just never really got the stacks that he needed. But this is also another map where you have oftentimes the late game coming in, and that's a different story then. Uther! Yeah, nerfed again by Blizzard, but Uther as the second support is again in the game. This is going to be really interesting. Game 3. Last game or the start of the comeback? I'm going to find out right now on All Direct Pass. Game on, everybody! Hazuops in game number 3 on Chromie, Banana on Ana, Nick on Reyna, and Dequaza playing Blaze with Masquerade at the front line for on Tyrael. Gia, on the other hand, for the Vikings on Oriel, we have Skok on Uther, so the double support with Maka on Suljin for the damage. Didn't quite work out the way that they intended to on the first map, even though it got close at times. Now we have Berghold on Johanna and Max on Rexa. So this is going to become interesting. Nick, of course, going straight in again for the ace in the hole. Insane talent now. on any other map than Battlefield of Eternity, you're going to see that pick. But these days, with a big buff on Exterminator, we see that talent, at least for now, taken by the teams on Battlefield of Eternity. That's going to be something that will still happen in a week or two, when everybody has experimented more with the new talents and the adjustments to the heroes. It's a different question. But for now, that's the case, not only for Washed Up, but also, as we saw on the last map, from the Vikings. It's time to stack again. Suljin needs those baseline stacks, of course. And also, when it comes to Chromie, she wants some stacks too. And Marke is immediately getting attacked here. Yeah, it's the auto-attacker battle, and Marke is about to die. Oh, they want him. They want him, and they're gonna get him. Oh, no! What? Oh my god! What a whip by Gia! I said it before and I say it again. If you have a player that can handle a whip on Oriel like this, then you know what's happening in the bedroom there. Gia, seriously, I didn't know he was into that stuff, but if it was proven at any point, it was in that last second when he made sure that Tyrael would at least die when he gets the kill against Suljin. What a setup. Honestly, that guy, he knows how to handle a whip. Oh yeah, baby. Slap it harder. There we go. That was actually the first one. I wanted to go for this. Yay! But either way, when Gia handles the whip, everybody's excited. Anyways, 1 kill against 1. It is game 3, and as teams take their camps, we still have Nick at the bottom of the map do his thing. This time he has to be careful, of course, with, well, Misha getting ready for a stun all the time. But as long as he's penetrating round ready, there's at least something he can play around. The question of the game is going to be, will Marke be able to stack his baseline properly? That's the big question. Do you see what I mean with the whip? You see that? Yeah. He has a homing missile attached to that thing. No, but it comes down to the stacks that he gets on the auto attack. And on the level 7, always assuming that he goes into the Arcanite Axis again, which he most likely will. So, Marke is going to be the focus here. And there are no blinds on the other side that he can play around. Stuns, of course, do the trick here too. But if it ends up in a super late game scenario, then there is the chance that Suljin is just an absolutely murder. There's a lot of range poke though. I mean, first of all, Chromie is in. And that alone allows you to just fire away time and time again and poke around the opponent. Objective is now starting up. But again, normally nobody really goes for the objective at the start. It's just too easy to interrupt there and to poke against your opponent's team if they try and go for that. And then you lose out on experience. So the intent instead is going to be for Washed Up in the Vikings to at least grab level 7 talents before they make a play there. Up at the top, still that Uther side lane. I talked about it in one of the previous games. Uther has been nerfed again. So his sustainability and his survivability have both been, oh my god, nearly a kill over here, have both been nerfed by Blizzard. And they talked about him also being in a bit of a main tank position right now. Honestly, the developer comments just simply clearly show that they just watch North America, and that's the end-all, be-all for them. Because in Europe, that play with Uther as a main tank has, first of all, neither had a past nor a future. It's pretty much disregarded. Teams tried it, doesn't work out, nobody uses it. Sometimes you see Uther, as in this game, as a second healer than on the solo lane. That's a bit of a different style. But even there, he has very, very, very bad win ratios. And the top teams don't really play it. And with top teams, I mean now Lauber's Fan Club and also Washed Up. I haven't seen it from them yet. But of course, the Vikings still quite strong, but they banked their hopes more so on that Suljin setup. But yeah, despite the fact that Uther got nerfed, they're still playing him in one of these roles. And of course, they still have Rexa at the side, so they play him as a third one, not the only one, which is a pretty big distinction as well. But here's the kill against Suljin, so that's a damage dealer gone. And if you're playing a lineup like this, that can't happen. Suljin can't die. When Suljin dies, then you're just screwed. You have no chance there. So it seems like Max Passion might even fall there too. Gia again! I mean, these whips are honestly insane. He must have a lot of training. I did not know until now what Gia does in his private time, but it has been revealed on stream. Gets killed though, so as well as he handles the whip there, it doesn't really help him anymore. I mean, honestly, it's either that explanation or he's just, maybe he works at the university and is working as an archaeologist in his free time, travels the world in order to restore artifacts and then put them into a museum. That is also an option. I don't really think that this is the case, but, well, maybe. What do I know? Could be another explanation. There's so many. Now that we have the lanes completely being pushed out here, topside in particular, the experience lead that we see for Washed Up is of course increasing. Not really by too much yet, but, well, 3 kills against 1. They've got at least a little bit, and you look at the objective, and they are, whew, boy are they ahead. 12.9 seconds are currently missing, and then they can make it happen. The first objective. The Raiders. Actually, sorry, not the Raiders. No, we need to be... sorry, I need to keep my lore in check. The Cavalry, of course. We're looking for the Alliance here, obviously. But attack is in, and there is still that poke. They're trying to grab it. They try to get it. Gia is getting in position again. You know what he wants. And doesn't connect it yet. Oh, the frontline tank. Wow. Johanna actually walked away from this. 12 stacks by now. Uther is dead. And that triple stun. Baited and eliminated. Rexa is down. No counter kill. But I am amazed that they walked away with the rest of the team. I was more or less certain that outside of Rexa we would see at least one more hero fall. 5 kills against 1, the early level 10. Here's the push as they move in. But I have to give it to Make. He is actually keeping his stacks up. These fights around the prisoner camp are doing really wonders for his baseline. 14 stacks already, so 1 more stack and he has the extra range increase, which is, yeah, happening right now as we speak. But this is, of course, difficult. Yeah, there's another stun. That's the nice... oh my god, these counter stuns the entire time. Holy hell, calm down. Uther is dead again, so is Misha. They have a 2-level lead now. It's just a dream going up against an opponent that doesn't have heroic abilities yet if you already have your ultimates and you also have an objective pushing. You know what I mean? Reyna isn't even here. Jimmy is at the bot lane and is just like taking this one down. No problem. Bam. That's the second fort eliminated. They are now 7 kills against 1. They work at the fort up at the top. Down to the bottom, Jimmy is still fighting, but now he gets a bit of resistance. He's like, yeah, not today. Instead, boys, you just try and do your thing up at the top. Aegis, this time we don't have Resurrect, and Uther went for the stun over Divine Shield. They played Resurrect in the first game on Tomb, but now, of course, you have a lot of stuns against you. You also have the, well, you can also, with Aegis, also interact or counterbalance Chromie's ult, which is of course also super important here. Still Tastingo, that was a given. Nobody on a higher level actually goes for Guillotine. I guess you could in theory go for it if you had some, like, I don't know, weird setup with massive stuns like a Variant Taunt or something, but even then it's just like, yeah. But now that they take the boss, they have a big push through the bot lane, and the one thing that you might have noticed already on the minimap is that the red team didn't actually go for the top boss. So it's not the traditional exchange between bosses that we're seeing here. But Washed Up wants the 3-0. I did not expect the 3-0 here. Not at all. But Washed Up now has a chance to make it happen. 35,000 damage for Chromie. The little dwarf is happy here. Set up, and they get Uther again. Yeah, as I said, there's a reason why Uther is not a thing in Europe. Nicely played here by Washed Up. They drop that quickly, and now the Sanctification is in with the perfect timing. They get the kill against Suljin. No damage, no fun, and this is keep. This is the first armor shield removed. They're trying to go for another kill, and Aegis barely saves Rexa. No, it doesn't. I spoke too soon, I apologize. They murdered it. Wow, what a beating. Hammer meet nail. Insane. 13 against 12. Make it 14. Another prisoner camp is coming up. They have a 13 talent advantage now. 10 kills against 1. Bot lane is of course a problem. It is insanity. It's just crazy. Okay, so up at the top. Off we go. There's a setup where, first of all, okay, they have someone in here. Well, just a second, I was like, yeah, they could, in theory, lose the fort as well. But now the camps are just taken on both sides, by the way, I might add. It's going to be a 13 versus 13 fight, at least over the next objective, so the talent advantage is not going to give them a big lead, if any. But they try to go for a kill. Rex on the run, and he gets away. Misha doesn't, though. That is just Misha abuse, honestly. Peter has been informed, and action will be taken. But there's level 13 versus 13, which gives us Ensnare. Suljin on 18 stacks. Yeah, an attempt to go for Nick. I emphasize the attempt because it's not happening. And yeah, now they're completely split here again. Look at Uther. Uther is getting away with like 10 hit points, but Suljin is dead, and he's not the only one. Oriel is dead too. Jesus Christ. Calm down. Nice. Good move by Arzo. They get Rexa, but that was really well done by him. Gets the timeout just perfectly in, and then also Sanctification for good measure. They're pushing through the middle before the objective is even taken. Oh, of course, why wouldn't they? 3 heroes are down on the opponent's side. Death timers are still low, but hey, if they could have gotten the kill against Uther, that would have been worth even more. They have 16 talents now. This setup that the Vikings are running here is just not working, and it is becoming painfully obvious. Washed Up is murdering. And keep in mind, Washed Up actually lost the last grand final in qualifier number 1. The fan club was able to take them down. Uther is dead again. He's doing what he does best. Dying. And they get another kill against Suljin. Guys, it is insane. It is absolutely nuts right now. It's a slaughter. They turned this map into a graveyard. I mean, just look at this. It hurts watching it. Cavalry is coming in. The keep is about to be destroyed. It's 16 kills against 1. They're not even going for the armor shield here anymore, as it seems. It looks like they're going for the core directly. The problem is that the death timers are still incredibly low, and they're just chasing them down one after another. I mean, look at it. It's incredible. They pick up the kills like it's candy. It's insane. They go for it, and, I mean, the cavalry isn't even here yet. Can Chromie maybe be eliminated? No, but instead they're taking Suljin down again. 6 kills against Suljin. And now Uther is dead again. Uther and Suljin pretty much have a race of who can die more often. But Jimmy is down, and Chromie is dead too. They might be able to defend after all. Well, Rexa and Johanna alone. Most likely not, but Cavalry is still manageable at this point because we're still early in, and if you save the core, it's of course going to regenerate, so that's a big one. It might not be over yet. There's a good chance that it is, but if they somehow save it just a little bit more, they might hold on to this one. Banana H is coming in too, Banana Nana, and their Sanctification. Okay, that's too much. That is too much, and that is game 3-0 victory. Impressive performance by Washed Up as they qualify for the main event of the Master Clash Season 2.